In this video, I'm going to show you changes for Cloud Grid Designer, Cloud version 32.4. So, whoops, wrong menu. In the help bottom of the help menu, it should show your version down here. And if you are not on Cloud 32.4, you want to click the browser refresh button. And then this should say 32.4 on here, and then you'll have exactly what I'm showing you here. Okay, there's really one change. There's a couple of kind of background things that shouldn't make any difference to anyone. So I'm just going to show you the one UI change that was done. So we're going to go to Project, New Project. And now in our list of projects here, we had Mosaic Overlay Crochet last week. And now this week we're going to have Reverse Mosaic Overlay Crochet. It's going to be very similar, but it's going to have some automated things when you're clicking on adding your X's to your pattern. And there's an automatic way of converting between these from one of these to the other. So you can have a mosaic overlay crochet and convert it to a reverse mosaic overlay crochet, and the grid designer will insert all of the reverse stitches and their positions for you. So, and you can go backwards too, which will take the reverse stitches out. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and make one of these new reverse mosaic overlay crochet projects. And this is very similar to the other project type. So we're going to select a single crochet gauge. You see my previous video if you want to know anything more about mosaic overlay crochet, because I'm kind of assuming that you've seen the previous video from last week. So basically we're going to pick a single crochet gauge for this, and we're going to pick a particular yarn. Let's just go down here and pick Red Heart Super Saver, say create project. Okay, so when we're picking mosaic overlay crochet or the reverse mosaic overlay crochet, we're going to pick two colors, and those colors are going to be sort of our foundation stripes. For mosaic overlay crochet, the background color is going to be used for the foundation row. So what you pick for the background down here will be the stripe at the bottom, and this will be the alternating stripe color here. So let's go in and pick some colors in here. We want something that's going to they're going to contrast with each other. I don't know. Let's do a green, maybe. We'll do a brighter green. Okay. And then we say set colors. If you want to save the project, you can do it there. You can say close here. And by the way, if you don't like the stripes that you get, these stripes are undoable. You can do that and undo them. They're just there at the beginning. Okay, so so we're going to start out this way. Now we have now a reversible mosaic crochet. You can check the project type by going up here and clicking on this project name up here, and that will pop up the project information. So we can see that we have a reverse mosaic overlay crochet with the gauge that we put in and Red Heart palette. Okay. Um, And now we're going to go back down here and see the video from last week to show you about symbols. But basically we have these three options here: draw symbol, erase all symbols from a cell, or erase a symbol by type. So, and here's our list of symbols up here. Now these are basically the same symbols as the non-reversible type, except it's got a W in here. Now I looked at several different people's videos to see what kind of symbols that they were using. And some people had, all different letters for symbols that were really the same as the stitches in the other type of mosaic overlay crochet. And then there is like a wrong side stitch that you do. And let me just show you. Let's just go with our X to start with. We'll go in here. And as we click on here to place our X, what's going to happen is we're going to get this W that's going to show up above it, no matter where we click like this. So we're adding our double crochets in. This X stands for a double crochet in the front loop of this single crochet down here. So this is kind of the standard double crochet that shows on the front side. And in general, if you work just regular overlay mosaic crochet, what you're going to get is you're going to get these double crochet pattern, you know, visible on the right side. And on the back side, it's just going to look like a bunch of stripes. And so, in order to make your project reversible, you have to work something on the back side that looks very much like this double crochet that you work on the front side. Okay, and I found at least 3 different ways of working a stitch on the back side, and that's what this W is going to be standing for. So the W, depending upon what stitch you choose to work on the back side to make the project reversible, could be either a anchored double crochet on the wrong side, or there's another video I found where someone had said they called it the lock stitch. It works, it's very similar to a double crochet, and it's worked behind, this behind the yellow here on the back side of the crochet work. And then there's another one called negative stitch. So I found 3 different kinds. There probably are others out there and other ways to do this. But I decided, instead of having different symbols for all these different things, one person had a triangle, one person had renamed the X's to something else, and then this was an A, which I thought was kind of confusing. So I'm going to use the W in here, and the W means wrong side. It stands for the word wrong side stitch. It's like a double crochet like stitch that's done behind the work on the back side. And so we don't see, in this case, it would be work with this green. So you don't see the green on the front side of the pattern. So I don't show green down below here because this is always showing the front side. But that W means that that's a double crochet like stitch worked on the back side of the fabric. So now, if you're new to how to reverse your mosaic overlay crochet patterns, then I have 3 links to videos down in the description of this video to things that will describe the types of stitches you can use on the wrong side. Okay, and so you should take a look at those videos if you want to understand more about how this is being reversed. Okay, but basically this indicates that there's a green stitch that's going to be worked that's kind of long on the back side of this, whereas the yellow is on this side. So what you get is when you turn the project over, you're going to see the inverted colors. So on one side, you're going to get double crochet things that are in the yellow here. And when you flip it over, you're going to get double crochets things that are in the green that are worked behind that. And so you kind of get an inverted look to your project. Now, it appears to me that some people do this in different ways. There's a continuous mosaic overlay crochet where the thread is taken all the way to the other side again, and so you have fewer tails and that kind of thing. And so there aren't any border stitches in that case. And in that case, what that person was using was to just go ahead and put X's down this side here. So that basically what happens is you get like an edging that would be all yellow on this side, and they put an anchored up here at the top. So you get like a yellow stripe along the edge like this, and on the other side you're going to have basically green going all the way down on the other side. So some people end things like that, but if you're not doing the continuous thing where you pull the thread over to the other, put the yarn over to the other side, then you might want to put border stitches along here. So it's up to you to decide how you want to do your edges. But basically that's the main difference here, is that when you draw your X's, it automatically marks the W for you. Now we can take an original mosaic overlay crochet project and convert it to this type, and Grid Designer is going to automatically insert all the W's for you and just mark where those are. It's a really simple thing actually to do on your own too. You just have the W just goes above all of the X's. But let's go ahead and open an existing project. Okay, mosaic. Shoot. I was just going to do this one. Okay, that's a little big. Let's get that sized back down here. Okay, so here we have an existing mosaic overlay crochet pattern. A lot of times it'll be a pretty narrow pattern. It'll just show one repeat, or you have your repeats just all the way across for whatever project you're using, so you can just, have them all laid out so you can work the whole thing. But I'm going to take this project now and we're going to do something that you may not have known was in the Grid Designer, but you can change from one project type to another project type. So if you have a cross stitch project and you want to make a latch hook rug to match the cross stitch project, you can actually change the project type, and that's done down here in display. And also, if you want to change your gauge, so if you picked, say, one of those approximate single crochet gauges, and then you actually have and then later you make a swatch and you measure your actual gauge and you want to put that in, this would be another place where you could do that. So you go into display and we scroll down here to where it says cell size and type. Okay, so we're going to go in here. This has a project type Mosaic Overlay Crochet, and we're going to change that to a reversible project. We have to pick our crochet gauge again. And then when we say Save Changes, then it's going to say changing the project type is not undoable. So you can't click undo after you change the project type. So you want to be in a state where you've saved this project off to somewhere else. You might even want to do, before you convert it, you might want to even do a save as to another project name, so that you don't accidentally overwrite your original project. But I haven't done that here, but I'm going to be careful I'm not overwrite that. So I'm changing the project types on not undoable. Do you want to continue? So we'll say yes. Okay. And then what Grid Designer does is it puts the W's in for all of the wrong side stitches. So it marks where there should be a wrong side stitch on the other side of the fabric. Okay, so it just automatically puts those in. And then, what you decide to do with your edges and how you do your repeat and all of that. It looks like there might be a little bit of a bug here where I'm not drawing the line. It looks like where the W's are appearing. So I'll have to look into that and probably fix that this week. Okay, so that's about it. That's what this is. And then I've got uh, one more project type that I'm going to do for the overlay mosaic type crochet. There's an inset mosaic crochet, and there's also an interlay mosaic crochet. And the big difference is there is that they use 2 rows of single crochet. And so what that does is, so you, instead of working 1 row down here and then having a tail over here and a tail on that end and then starting over here again with the next row, what you do is you work 2 rows of each color. So you work down this way and then you work back in the same color so that all of your ends, all of your tails end up on the same side. And they usually just take the yarn and carry it up to the next row. So once you've got your light blue back here, you just carry it up and use it again here. So you have a little bit of kind of some little loops there that you can crochet on over when you do your edging on the piece. And they do that in a couple different ways. So there's an inset, which uses chain stitches under the double crochets. And then there's also an interlay kind where when you come down and do the double crochet over the other color, then you work around the post of the first stitch of the same color down below you. So we'll talk about that next week more. So there's going to be one more project type that's going to cover that double double lined, double striped crochet type. So that'll be coming next week. Oh, and one thing I didn't mention last week is that this list of things that's up here, these design symbols, are also available in the floating palette. So if you go to display floating palette, then you got your foreground color, background color, and down here at the bottom, you have all the design symbols. So you can click on here, and make a crochet, make the symbol on your chart from this, and you can select these different things here. Oh, I wanted to show also how the erase works. So the erase symbol by type, if we have X selected, then when it erases that X, it will also erase the W up above it. So those kind of go together. Okay. If you go and you pick the regular eraser here, then it will erase just whatever you click on. So and so that's a way of working with the W's separately. Um, maybe in some case you might want to put a slightly different pattern on the back, and maybe you can work out, where to put the back the W's. So you could put you can draw your W's separately also if you want to. Okay, so anyway, so that's about it. These, just remember, these are also in the floating palette here. So that's something I forgot to show last week. I tend to use this because I've been using that so much from the very beginning that I tend to not use the floating palette, but it's very useful to pull that up, and it's easier to click on that than it is actually to pull these down and do that. So. Okay, so next week we'll do the inset and the interlay, and then I'm going to definitely move on to cross stitch. So anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye.